He could hit, he could run, he could field like no other. The say-hey kid, the player who made the impossible look easy. From the sandlots of Alabama to the bright lights of New York and San Francisco, this is the story of Willie Mays. The man who didn't just play baseball, he redefined it. Willie Howard Mays Jr. was born on May 6, 1931 in Westfield, Alabama, a small town near Birmingham. The son of Willie Sr., known as Cat, and Annie Satterwhite, young Willie was immersed in baseball from an early age. At Fairfield Industrial High School, he excelled not just in baseball, but in football and basketball as well. In 1948, at just 17 years old, Mays joined the Birmingham Black Barons of the Negro American League. It was here that his extraordinary skills began to catch the eye of Major League scouts. Mays' time in the Negro Leagues was brief but impactful. In 1950, he signed with the New York Giants, beginning his journey in the major leagues. Mays made his major league debut on May 25, 1951. Though he started 0 for 12 at the plate, it didn't take long for him to find his stride. Mays hit 20 home runs that season, helping the Giants to the pennant and earning himself the Rookie of the Year award. It was during this season that Mays also gained his famous nickname. It is often attributed to New York Journal American sports writer Barney Kremenko. Mays had a habit of greeting people by saying "say who," "say what," "say where," and "say hey," instead of using their names, as he was bad at remembering names. Kremenko noticed this and referred to Mays as the "say hey kid" in his stories, and the nickname stuck. Mays himself once credited the nickname to another New York sports writer, Jimmy Cannon. Mays explained, "You see a guy, you say, 'Hey man, say hey man.'" And after he started hitting a lot of home runs, Cannon and others began calling him the Say Hey Kid. In 1952, Mays was drafted into the United States Army during the Korean War. He missed most of the 1952 season and all of 1953, but Mays didn't let this time go to waste. When he returned in 1954, he came back with a vengeance. Baseball historian, the 1954 season was when Willie Mays truly arrived as a superstar. He led the league with a .345 batting average, hit 41 home runs, and won his first MVP award. But more than the numbers, it was how he played the game that captivated fans. But it was in the World Series that year when Mays made perhaps the most famous play in baseball history. Game 1 of the 1954 World Series. Mays, playing shallow in center field, turned and sprinted towards the deepest part of the Polo Grounds. With his back to home plate, he made an over-the-shoulder catch that seemed to defy physics. The Giants went on to win the World Series, and Willie Mays became a household name. Throughout the rest of the 1950s, Mays continued to dazzle. He led the league in stolen bases 4 consecutive years from 1956 to 1959. He hit over 306 times in the decade, and his defensive play in center field was revolutionizing the game. Mays' excellence wasn't limited to regular season play. He was a force in the All-Star game as well. In 1958, the Giants moved to San Francisco, and Mays moved with them. Despite the challenge of playing in the wind and fog of Candlestick Park, Mays continued to excel. The move to San Francisco presented new challenges, particularly the notoriously difficult conditions at Candlestick Park. The 1960s saw Mays reach even greater heights. In 1965, at the age of 34, he had perhaps his finest season. Baseball announcer, Mays swings, and there it goes, number 52 on the season for Willie Mays. Mays hit a career-high 52 home runs that year, winning his second MVP award, but his excellence wasn't limited to home runs. In the 60s, Mays became the first player to hit 300 home runs and steal 300 bases. He got his 3,000th hit, he hit his 600th home run. The milestones just kept coming. What's remarkable is how consistent he was. Year after year, you could count on Mays to be among the league leaders in virtually every offensive category. Mays was also a fixture at the All-Star Game, appearing in 24 of them over his career. He still holds the record for most All-Star Game hits with 23. But for all his offensive prowess, Mays was equally renowned for his defense. His signature basket catch became one of baseball's most iconic images. Mays won 12 consecutive Gold Glove awards from 1957 to 1968, a record for outfielders that still stands today. What made Mays such a great defender wasn't just his speed or his arm, though both were exceptional. It was his instincts. He seemed to know where the ball was going before it was even hit. He played a shallow center field, which allowed him to take away singles, but he could also race back to rob extra base hits. As the 1970s dawned, age began to catch up with even the great Willie Mays. In May 1972, he was traded to the New York Mets, returning to the city where his major league career began. Mays played his final game on October 16, 1973. In Game 3 of the World Series, he retired with 660 home runs, 3,283 hits, and a .302 lifetime batting average. In 1979, Willie Mays was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame on the first ballot, receiving 94.7% of the vote. Mays' career coincided with the Civil Rights Movement, and while he wasn't as outspoken as some athletes, his excellence on the field spoke volumes. Mays faced discrimination throughout his career, from his days in the Negro Leagues to his struggles to find housing in San Francisco, but he always let his play do the talking. Beyond the baseball diamond, Mays became a cultural icon. He appeared on television shows and commercials and even had songs written about him. Mays' influence on the game continues to this day. Many of today's stars cite him as an inspiration. When we look at the numbers, Mays' greatness becomes even clearer. He ranks in the top 10 all-time in runs, total bases, and extra base hits. His 156.2 wins above replacement ranks 5th all-time. What sets Mays apart is his completeness as a player. He could do it all: hit for average, hit for power, run, field, throw. He might be the most well-rounded player in baseball history, and he did it with consistency. For over 2 decades, he was always among the best players in the game. After retirement, Mays remained connected to the game he loved. He established the Say Hey Foundation to promote youth baseball, and he served as a special assistant to the San Francisco Giants. There have been other great players, but there's only one Willie Mays. He didn't just play the game, he elevated it. He showed us what was possible on a baseball field, and he did it with a style and grace that was uniquely his own. From the sandlots of Alabama to the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, Willie Mays' journey is a supreme American story. It's a tale of talent, perseverance, and joy. The joy that Mays brought to the game, and the joy he gave to millions of fans. In the end, perhaps the highest praise for Willie Mays came from his longtime manager with the Giants, Leo Durocher, who said simply, "He's the greatest player I ever saw or ever hope to see." Thanks for watching Willie Mays More Than a Game. We hope you enjoyed this journey through the life and career of one of baseball's greatest icons. If you loved learning about the Say Hey Kid, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories of baseball legends.